Hi there, Casey Stubbs here from Master Trader, Forex Master Trader. Today I'm going to be talking about diversification and why it's important as a trader to be diversified. And you might not be interested in this video right off the bat because you're thinking, well, what does this help me with trading? Well, I'm going to help you understand diversification because it's actually really important for trading. Because if you are not diversified, it could sabotage your trading before you even get started. So let me go ahead and share with you now the main reasons about why you should diversify and how you do it. So the first reason that diversification is important is to eliminate risk. You never know what is going to happen in the future. And so we want to have a risk management plan. And one of those risk management plans is to have diversification. And one way that you want to diversify is not by putting all of your money in one broker account. I personally have 4 broker accounts. And if you think about it, over the course of my trading career, I've seen many brokers go out of business. And some of them are just because the broker's not in business and they couldn't make the money. But others was because of scandals or schemes or fraud, or they were over leveraged and they went out of business and all of the funds disappeared. There are some billion-dollar brokers that the funds disappeared and the traders that had their accounts never got their money back. So when you have your money in a broker, there's always a risk, right? Nothing is a sure thing. Nothing is a guarantee. And yes, we want to use regulated brokers. Yes, they say that there's some guarantees there, but in reality, there is no guarantee. And you have to take responsibility for your own risk management. And so one of the ways that I do that is I have 4 broker accounts. All right, so the other reason why we want to diversify is what we call black swans. And I'm currently reading the book Black Swan. You can see that here. It's by Nassim Taleb. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a great book. And he was talking about how the very start of the book, he was like, look, they used to think that black swans didn't exist. Because why? Because it was their experience that they only saw white swans, and that's until they went to Australia and they found a black swan. So your experience is limited. And just because something has happened or never happened before doesn't mean that it won't happen. So if you're relying on your experience, you're relying on limited information. There's a lot more going on than what we as a society has experienced, and there's definitely a lot more going on than what you as an individual has experienced. So you don't want to base all of your decision making off of experience. You want to base it off of what the most outrageous and crazy situation is. Since I've been in trading, I've seen multiple black swan events happen, and they happen more and more common nowadays. One of the ones that was really big in my career was when the Swiss franc was depegged from the euro, and we saw that it just went crazy, and the Swiss franc moved thousands and thousands and thousands of pips in a matter of minutes. If anyone had a position open, their entire accounts were crashed, and brokers went out of business over that one central bank move. Thousands of traders went out of business, and thousands of brokers went out of business from that big black swan event. So you always want to be planning on what the worst possible thing that can happen, and you want to be prepared for the worst case scenario. That doesn't mean you're a doomsday person and that you're paranoid, but it's important to say, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen and how can I prepare for that? Another benefit to why you should diversify is because it's great to have multiple streams of income, especially when it's passive revenue. So if you're successful as a trader and you're making money as a trader, you want to take that money and then roll it into something else that makes money. That's the power of compounding, and the power of compounding is one of the most powerful forces for wealth creation. As a trader, you trade with 1 lot, then you trade with 2 lots, then you trade with 3, and you slowly compound your revenue and you grow it. But you could also throw your profits into something else. You could throw it into some stocks, right? And then earn maybe dividends. And you have a dividend fund going, right? Dividends are very helpful. They come in on a regular basis, and you're taking your money and you're growing it and you're putting it to work. Some other things that you could do with your money is you could put it into real estate. You could buy property. Real estate's always going up. Not always, but most of the time real estate goes up. And you can get rental revenues, right? Invest in real estate, hold it up for property value increase, and also do rentals and rental revenues. Another way to diversify your income is to buy a business, a cash flow business that runs a business. You have a manager, somebody will run the business, you're not doing any extra work, and you're owning that business and you're getting cash flow. You want to diversify and turn your money into more money. Buy things that create money for you. Don't buy things, a lot of times you see these fancy traders on TV, and, if they're making $8 billion, great, they can buy fancy cars and fancy houses, and I think that's wonderful. But I'm not knocking it, but you should focus primarily on things that will generate more revenue. Buy things that generate revenue, things that increase in value. Use your money to make money. A book I read many years ago that made a big impact on me was called The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a very old book, but it has a lot of great tips on how to use your wealth to create wealth. Always take that money that you earn and put it to work. You want your money to work for you. You don't want to work for your money, right? I'll say that again. You want your money to work for you. You don't want to work for your money. And the great trading is a great way to work. It's a great way to earn a living. But when you're trading, you're still working for your money. You got to take that money, put it to work, use that, let your money work for you. All right. Now, that's pretty much my summary on diversification, but I have a really big risk as well. Diversification is good. You should do it. But there is a risk involved. If you diversify too much, you can limit your explosive growth. Okay? And everybody wants a little explosive growth in their life, right? And so what I mean by that is if you have $10 and you put $1 in 10 different things, and one of those things goes up 1,000%, well, you're only going to get that dollar that's going up 1,000%. But if you put $10 in something and that goes 1,000%, you can get massive growth, right? Massive, life-changing, rich forever type growth. And so one of the challenges with diversification is it limits your power. And so if you have something that you're really comfortable with, or something that you've done a ton of research on and you really want to go for it, take a calculated risk and put all of your money in one investment, right? That is one way that people do get rich at a relatively quick pace. But you know what? That's the drawback of not diversifying. One thing I recommend is if you do hit it big with a great investment, well, then you take the money from that and you diversify to create those multiple streams of income. Because sometimes one big growth can change your life. Okay, well, that's it for diversification. It's a little off my normal topic of how to trade the market, but I thought it was really important, and a lot of traders don't understand how diversification works and how it's important. So if there was something that stood out to you in today's video, a specific tip that I liked, or if there's something I forgot, just add that in the comments. Let's keep a conversation going down here. I always like to hear what my viewers have to say. If there was something you really liked or stood out to you, just go ahead and post that in the comments. And also, if I missed something, go ahead and add that as well, because I want to know how we can take this conversation further, and it helps me make better content in the future. All right, well, thank you, and we'll see you in the next video very soon.